yesterday I was over John's house and we assembled this airplane. As I told you on the Friday night hangout, this airplane would be together come Monday. Heck, this airplane would be done if I was at home. But I'm building in more or less a motel room here. It's 15 foot wide by 20 foot deep, if that. So it's a little small place. This is my place that I stay when I'm working. And so things are slow. I can't use dope here unless I do it outside. I did bring some dope back from home, but I can get most of the framing done and then take this back and forth between John's house and my place in St. Louis to finish it up. The paper's all on. Let's see, I had some weights here. Motor, pipe, header, wheels, all the hardware weighs 22.35 ounces. And my airframe here all together with all the flaps, the cowl and the turtle deck and everything on it weighs 50.85. So, or excuse me, 28.50. So we're looking at a 51 ounce airplane as it sits right here. With a 6 ounce finish, 57, all things being realistic, this airplane should end up around 58, 59 ounces, hopefully keeping it under 60. Pretty happy with the way it came out. John's come up with some pretty neat push rod ends. I guess I could take the camera off the tripod and show you those push rod ends. There we go. So that all works good. As you see, I've got the super fill on the inside, and that adds quite a bit of strength to the airplane, so I don't forget to do that. I just tried this gusset here, which I normally don't do a huge gusset like that, but I wanted this thing stiff behind the trailing edge, so that'll help. Anyway, I'll get this edited up. It just kind of gives you an idea where I'm at, and we'll get to look at what's going on at John's. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time. We're here in John's garage today, and we're going to be putting my airplane together, but we thought John's out in the garage painting. I guess you don't want to smell out the house. I don't blame him, I suppose. We got several projects going.
Let's see this better.
Just profile. This is a Yatsenko compy wing in this one.
All inline, 60 size motor.
What motor are you going to run in that?
Okay, Enya 61 side exhaust. And another SV on the stand, K77 on rear exhaust muffler. Although it's set up to put a pipe in it if you want to. You just cut out the center section. You know, you can put the pipe in it. It's all set up inside the fuselage for the pipe. And then all the parts and pieces are made for it. So another SV23, basically set up for a K77 rear muffler. The muffler cooling area, whatever. It's also, I could put a pipe on it too. This could be cut out. It's all set up internally for a pipe, sealed up and everything, so in case I wanted to add a pipe later. It's all pretty much complete. Just finishing.
Hold that, leave that off. Let's get a look inside here.
Just finished up the tissue paper on it. So I'm in the process of now just doing the 3 coats of clear tape, sand it, and then it will go into primer. End up like this one in another week or so. It's a royal pain, if anyone knows it pains.
Looks good though.
By the time you get it in the primer and starting the paint job, that's when the work really starts. But this is Dr. Paper. Dr. Paper on this one also. 3 coats of dope. It's performing every bit like Silkspan. I can't say there's much difference.
How does it work on wingtips?
Pulls around wingtips real nice. It's got good pull strength to it. I put it on wet just like tissue paper and strip it all out. You get all the wrinkles out and just dope it on just like tissue paper. It works just like it. We did an experiment a while back, and here's the test pieces. And one is done in Silkspan, and one is done in Dr. Paper. And
Silkspan on the left.
they both have 3 coats of dope. Sparky says the Silkspan's on the left.
No, my left.
On his left, he's correct. This one that's got these little spots on it is the Dr. Paper side. But you really can't tell much difference. We weighed these before and after. They're both the same. This is medium Silkspan. This is just regular Dr. Paper. It's what the heck do they call that? Crepe. You got to get the Dr. Paper that's a crepe, and there is a number because there's different kinds of Dr. Paper that you can get, but you got to get the crepe kind, and it acts just like Silkspan. It has a grain to it. I haven't had any problems. I hadn't had any problems with putting tape on it and the dope lifting off the paper or anything like that. And as you can see here on this one, I had these bays, these open bays covered, so I didn't primer any open bays. And when I pulled that up, it didn't pull up any paper, didn't pull up any primer or anything like that. It left nice clean line, just as Silkspan would. So these are my experiments with Dr. Paper, although they're on some pretty nice airplanes. But I mean, you really can't tell the difference. It's that phenomenal. In fact, on this one, the real Silkspan bagged out a little bit on one side. And the Dr. Paper has yet to do that. And these have both been sitting for months. You know, since like I said, 3 coats of dope. It sticks just as good. It doesn't appear to have any oils or waxes or anything like that in it. Which is the reason for these. Didn't want to take a big airplane and use this stuff on it and not have some kind of a experiment to verify its usage. So
We're down in John's basement today to put my airplane together. I don't have this airplane that I built has been built in a little room that's 15 foot wide by 10 foot long, or 10 by 15, so don't have a whole lot of room to work. So we'll come over here to John's and put it together on his table. What is this, stuck down? Oh.
it's all right. That's just that can come off there. That's just for cut and foam. Here you go. Here's a. Might want to get those glue dots off there so you don't. It's just tacked there to cut a core. Yeah, buddy. Just exactly the same way I do mine.
Well, there's only so many ways to do things, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's people that wouldn't hog all this shit out and get all this extra wood out of here and all that stuff that's not needed.
Well, after it's fiberglassed, I'll even sand it some more in there. I'm also going to put superfill in there so it's, you know, to seal that crack off.
Yeah. See, you're about 3/8 of an inch thick back here still. Yeah, that's another thing I made. If I can find it. I made the thing that you can tell how thick and screwed together.
Where's mine?
And you can calibrate it yourself because all you got to do is put it together and make both ends touch. You're good to go. Works like a champ. There's a pattern.
Yeah.
It only takes about $30 worth of plywood. You want a single edge razor blade?
Yeah, probably. A little thinner than X-Acto.
3/4 of an ounce.
But I'll be sanding some of that away.
0.8. 8/10.
So I need to sand 3/10 out of it.
Oh, you can get 3/10 out of this easy. Easy, maybe a little bit more. And so you're averaging right at a not a 30/32 of an inch thick. You take that down to an 1/8 or a little less than that. It'll still be strong enough. Everybody got to realize, you build these things, when you put tissue paper on everything, you just double the strength of the wood back up as soon as you put the tissue on it. Now, Bob's hunt, I guess he's using the hobby epoxy
Z-Pocket.
or Z-epoxy or a finishing resin and no tissue paper.
Right. Not as strong.
So it can't be as strong, but I mean he's getting the finishing without that.
I'm telling you, the lightest finish is clear dope and Japanese tissue.
It probably is.
And it's strongest too.
What's this? This medium weight silk span?
Yeah.
Yeah. He rounded over all those edges. You can tell there's not a ridge. There's a little bit. There's always going to be some kind of a little ridge, but it minimizes that if you just relieve those edges just a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I take a little piece, like a fingernail file, and run it back and forth and round all that over. I sure would like to cup these trailing edges of these wings, though, like we did in the stab.
And we could do that if it was a half.
All you gotta do is make the trailing edge thicker.
Yeah.
That changes all your wing templates, your rib templates. But if we're using the lost foam way, that's just to make the lost foam jig with a thick trailing edge.
I did a wing like that.
So it's not, I mean it's a little bit harder, but it's not that much harder. And I think we done, like I said, out in the garage, and I don't know whether you got that on tape or not, but I think all you need to do is put your 1/4 inch trailing edge strip on there, and then when you sheet it, let the sheeting overhang that 1/4 inch piece by a 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, I did that.
And then you could sand that to 3/16 or an 1/8 or whatever you need to make that cup shape to it. Now see, you're doing a double whammy here on these. You're doing, not only do you have this pocket hinge thing which seals the hinge line, you also got a thinner elevators than you do the stab. Of course, this is a flat stab.
Right.
I think you can get by if this was airfoiled, having the elevators and the stab the same thickness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that dead spot, that thinner thing was used to create a dead spot, is where you can move the elevator up and down a little bit before it gets into the slipstream. And it's the same as adding slop to your control horns, which is what everybody used to do. They'd hog out these holes where their push rod's hooked up and let it click back and forth. And that did the same thing. .7, 19, it's bebopping around. It's probably 18, 19, 18, 19.
So put all of them on there. Let's see what they all weigh together.
$57 grams.
2 and what?
2, flat 2.
That's decent.
On the money.
We're using some type of height gauge that this wing is within 100,000ths of an inch.
Right on the money.
Taking all day to get this far. Close?
Well, I wish I had a center line reference on the wing itself, because you're just sort of winging it. Pretty close. Pretty close.
I mean, if we're getting it within 1,000ths of an inch, I mean, come on.
Well, without a reference line that's actually the center of the wing, you really don't know what you have. Especially on this radius. You got a center line on the fuselage, you got a center line on the trailing edge. You don't have a center line on the wing. It's proper.
Well, it's hard to do when it's a molded leading edge.
Well, here's what I've done.
Stick a pin through it, through the center on the inside.
When I take one of these with center line, it's equal distance here. You put one of these, you make this gap the thickness of the wing.
Yeah.
Okay? You slide to make this to slide over the wing. Line this up with the center of the trailing edge. That puts this mark, you push this piece in until it touches the leading edge, then that makes this the same. I'm serious.
I'm serious. I'm sure you're serious.
And I've tried to make these adjustable both ways. You need to make them really just where they slide. And then you can just like put this center line on the trailing edge and pin it. And then squeeze it together until this touches the high point of the wing. And whatever measurement this is, you make the same measurement here and here. Mm-hmm. And then slide this one in until it touches the wing, and then that center line will tell you where the center line of that radius is.
Well, let me ask you this. Are we within 10,000ths of an inch?
Well, you look at it. Take that thing and see. It's your airplane. You're the one that has to be the...
That's a little high, maybe.
Maybe need to go down about to there.
That's fine.
But that could be the whole... If you laid this cutout parallel in the fuselage sides, then the wing will set in there parallel. that doesn't mean the tips are the same. The wing could be.
Yeah, it could have walked a little bit, but that's close. I mean, down a little bit, or did it move?
Well, it would have moved up if anything, because I pushed down on that side.
We got a steam generator. Pretty good there.
You're good here and here.
Right.
And you're parallel with this mark on the fuselage side.
It's close. We can always, I can always steam it and twist it a little bit if it's out a little bit, but I don't think it will be. Well, the end of the day, and it's all together. It's gonna be heavy. It weighs 28 ounces right here, and I don't know, all the hardware on it's gonna be 60 ounces or thereabouts. And try to keep it under 60. Anyway, that's what we got going. We did this all in one day, lined it up. Sounds like I got a rattle going on in there. Oh well.
Always a little chunk of wood that falls off.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
That's together now. There ain't nothing but the warping that happens from painting and
That's it. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. There ain't much to see here. We didn't do a big instructional video. Didn't have the time. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.